Morning, good morning, good morning. I just wanted to pop on this morning just for a quick minute. I literally have 2 minutes before I have to walk out the door to work. But the Sunday school lesson from last Sunday is really resonating with me, and I pray that it will resonate with you. We talked about faith in the fiery furnace, and we talked about the three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how they refused to bow. They refused to bow to the other God that the king had created. The key text for that lesson was, Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's words and yielded their bodies, but they might not serve no nor worship any God except their own. And so I just want to remind us today that if we could keep our confidence in God and we hold on to the promises that He has given us, that even the king will change his mind. The king started out very haughty. He started out saying, everybody that don't bow down to this God that I have created, I'm throwing you in the fiery furnace. And he was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He not only did he throw them in the fire, but he turned the fire up 7 times hotter than what it was for everybody else that may not have obeyed his laws, right? So we talk about the society we live in and all the rules and the laws that are so far away from what God has commanded us to do. For he has commanded us to be holy, for he is holy. And so just keep in mind that even if we could hold on to the profession of our faith, that even in the midst of the fire, that we won't be alone. So they threw the Hebrew boys in there and they used their strongest men. And let's talk about the strongest football players that we have, or the biggest police officers, or the strongest boxers. Those are the men that threw them in, and they were consumed by the fire because they didn't believe in God and they didn't have that confidence in him, and they didn't stand on the word of God, what the word of God said. But the Hebrew boys stood on the word of God, and even though they may not have been big stocky men, God was with them. So they threw them in the fire. The people that threw them in was consumed, and although they were consumed, the king was able to walk up and look down, and he was amazed to see that they threw three in. They threw them in bound. When they threw them in, they had them. I use an analogy for our day and age that we can remember. When they threw them in, they put all of their clothes on them, even their hats, because they wanted to have something for the fire to catch on to, like pouring gas on them. And then after they did that, they bound them up. So they took some duct tape. They took some tape. I say duct tape. They took something like duct tape and they wrapped it all the way around them and they threw them in the fire. And when the king looked down there, he saw 4 people and not just 3. Because God, he said, and that fourth person looked like the Son of God. So the king acknowledged God and he recognized God. So as we go throughout today, remember that God is with us even in the fire. And even though the fire may be hot and it may be turned up 7 times, 10 times, 100 times hotter, the things that we're experiencing in life may be so tough for us that we want to quit. But remember Galatians 6:9, that we will reap a harvest if we faint not. Have a good day, and I love you guys. Join me on Sunday at 9 a.m. for Sunday School with Coach Fee. This time we're going to be talking about Daniel. Join me. I can't wait to see you.